Today, I will be sharing with you how to make Oreo cheesecake cookies. Thank you so much for voting for these cookies, guys, and let's begin! You're only going to need 5 ingredients: crushed Oreos, all-purpose flour, cream cheese that is softened, sugar, and butter that is room temperature. And you can get the complete recipe at my blog simplybakings.com. In a large bowl, you're going to add the cream cheese and take your handheld mixer, or you can use your stand mixer, and you're going to mix it. Then you're going to add the butter and continue mixing it until it is well combined. And don't forget, guys, if you would like to get all my latest recipes, hit the subscribe button. Next, grab the sugar, add it to the bowl, and continue mixing until it is light and fluffy. Make sure to scrape the sides so all of the ingredients will be mixed in and combined very well. So once it's mixed in very well, gradually add the all-purpose flour. Once you're finished adding the flour, add the Oreos and you're going to fold it in. And what's really neat about this recipe, it does not have eggs, so you can actually just eat it straight from the bowl before you bake it. So once the Oreos are folded in, cover up the batter and you're going to place this in the refrigerator for at least an hour. If you are in a hurry, you can actually place it in the freezer for about 30 minutes. So after it's been in the refrigerator, you're going to take it out and you're going to place the dough into the cookie pan. So I used my cookie scooper and placed it onto the cookie pan, and I flattened it a little bit. Baked it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 12 to 13 minutes. Once the cookies were done baking, I placed it on a cookie rack and allowed it to sit for about 5 more minutes. And then I took my first bite of these cookies and it was really good. I could really taste the cream cheese and it wasn't as sweet as I thought it would. I love the crunchiness from the Oreos, and overall it was such a great cookie. It's question time! Rahaf asked, "Hey, I always see your videos and I wanted to ask what I can use instead of candy melt since it's not available in my country." So what I used to do, because I didn't know candy melt existed, I would use chocolate chips and do the double boiler method and add some shortening gradually to thin out the chocolate. Great question! And if you guys have any more, let me know in the comment section. Happy baking! Hello guys, welcome back to Simply Bakings. Today we'll be making carrot cake cupcakes. So I got together with my friend Olga from Fab Lunch. She has some really neat recipes and she decided to make cream cheese frosting the healthy way that will go perfect with these carrot cake cupcakes. Let's begin! In a large bowl, you're going to add 2 cups of self-rising flour, ½ cup of granulated sugar, a ½ cup of brown sugar, which is packed into the measuring cup, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and you're going to take your wire whisk and you're going to mix it until everything is well combined. Now to make it easier for the wet ingredients to be combined, you're just going to take a spatula and make a well in the middle. Then you're going to add ½ cup of oil, ½ cup of milk, and 4 eggs. Continue mixing with your wire whisk until everything is well combined. And it should look like this when you're finished. Grab your 1 1/2 cups of grated carrots and add it to the bowl, and continue mixing. Once you're finished mixing, you're going to line your cupcake pan and you're going to add the carrot cake batter into the cupcake pan. Then you're going to bake it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 to 25 minutes. So I filled these cupcakes to the top because I knew I wasn't going to be frosting them. So if you're going to frost your cupcakes, fill it halfway. It's going to end up like this. If not, it's going to look like this, which doesn't leave much room for frosting the cupcakes. So these cupcakes turned out really great. They were very light and fluffy and it really resembled a cupcake. I'll post more pictures on my Facebook of the cupcake with frosting. Other than that, thank you so much guys for watching. please don't forget to head over to my friend Olga's channel where she's gonna teach you how to make cream cheese frosting the healthy way, which would go perfect with these carrot cake cupcakes. Now to entice you to go head over there even more, she makes these really yummy brownies, she has cookies, and many other recipes I know you guys will enjoy. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye! By popular demand, I made green tea cookies. Thanks guys for voting for these cookies. See you at the very end and help me choose what I should make for the next Cookie Mondays. Let's begin! In a large bowl, you're going to add softened butter, granulated sugar and brown sugar. Then take your handheld mixer and you're going to mix it until it is light and fluffy. So once you're done mixing, you're going to add the vanilla extract and the eggs, and you're going to continue mixing. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button so you can get all of my latest recipes. So once everything is well incorporated, you're going to set this bowl aside and grab another bowl, and in this bowl I already have all-purpose flour. I'm going to add some salt and baking soda. Then I added some matcha green tea latte. Now there are different kinds of green teas. You need to get the one that is specifically used for baking. I will list it in the description box. Also, I will post a picture on my blog as well. So now you're going to mix all the dry ingredients. And once you're done mixing, you're going to add the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. And to get the complete recipe, head over to my blog, simplybakings.com. So this cookie dough is more sticky, and that's okay. That is exactly how this cookie dough should be. What you're going to do next, if you want to, you could add some green food coloring to give it more of a greener tint. This part's optional. If you would like to add white chocolate chips, you can. The cookies will be a lot sweeter. If you just like plain green tea, then just omit the white chocolate chips. Next, I grabbed my cookie scooper and I scooped out some cookie dough and placed it onto my cookie sheet. And since this cookie dough was a little bit on the wet side, it's a lot easier to use a cookie scooper, or you can use your tablespoons or spoons. Bake the cookies at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 9 to 11 minutes. Once you remove it from the oven, leave it on the pan for about 2 minutes and then transfer it onto a cookie rack. So physical looks, these cookies do not look like green tea. However, when you smell it, it smells so good. It smells like green tea. I personally liked it without the white chocolate chips. However, if you like chocolate, go ahead and add the white chocolate chips. And you might have noticed that these cookies are more on the thin side. Even though these cookies are thin, you might think they're crispy, but no, they're actually really soft and chewy. They're really good. Hey Simply Bakers, welcome back, and today on Simply Bakings, I'm sharing with you this simple lemon cake that will wow anybody who takes a bite of this cake. Let's begin! In a large bowl, add the unsalted butter. Now here's a baking tip. If you didn't soften the butter at room temperature, you can actually cube the butter and pop it in the microwave for about 15 seconds and it will soften it evenly. That was a tongue twister. Anyway, you're going to add the organic cane sugar, but if you don't have that, you can add regular granulated sugar and you're going to mix it until it is light and fluffy. It is easier to use a handheld mixer if you have it available. It's going to take a lot of elbow grease if you don't, and make sure to scrape down the sides of the bowl. Next, you're going to add the eggs, and you're going to add the eggs one at a time. So you're going to add the first egg, mix, add the second egg, mix, third egg, and then mix. So if you guys are enjoying this recipe so far, I have actually more lemon recipes. You can find them in the description box or in the upper right hand corner if you are using your phone. So next you're going to add vanilla extract. fresh lemon juice, and fresh lemon zest. Now, I actually only added 1 tablespoon, but I highly recommend to add 2 tablespoons. I just got really lazy because my lemons were really small, and yeah, I'm pretty lazy. Okay, anyway, you're gonna mix it, and once you're done, set this bowl aside. In a medium-sized bowl, you're going to add all the dry ingredients, the all-purpose flour, baking powder, baking soda, and salt, and you're going to whisk it until it's well combined. So for the next part, you're going to alternate adding the dry and wet ingredients. So start off with the dry ingredients, and you're going to mix it until just combined. Make sure to scrape down the sides, and then add the sour cream. So I'm sure you guys can multitask. So I just want to give you a quick update. I took a semi-break last year. I didn't mean to, and I keep saying that, but I really did. And I'm actually back. You're going to be seeing a video every week, and then hopefully by mid-year, it's going to be twice a week. So stay tuned and make sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with all of my recipes. Okay, so back to the recipe. You're going to get a cake pan. I will put the dimensions in the description box below. You're going to spray it, and then I always like to put parchment paper on the bottom just to make it easier to remove and make it like perfect. So then just go ahead and add the cake batter into the cake pan. So one of my favorite parts in baking is getting my spatula and just spreading the cake evenly in the pan. I just love doing this. If you're the same way, put in the comments, me too. I'm sure I'm not alone on this. Or am I? Anyway, you're going to bake the cake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 25 to 30 minutes. Then you're going to allow the cake to cool. It took me about 30 minutes to finish cooling, and when you press it, when it springs back, that means you know it's definitely baked. So next, I just took a butter knife to just remove the edges or remove it from the sides of the pan, and took a cooling rack and flipped the cake over on it. Remove the parchment paper and then place it onto a cookie sheet. Flip the cake over and don't worry about those imperfections because it will be covered. So set this aside, and now we're going to make the glaze, which is basically powdered sugar and lemon juice. I slowly added the lemon juice to see if I needed more. Now it is so important, guys, to sift the powdered sugar. I did not sift the powdered sugar. I totally forgot, and my cake ended up, or the glaze ended up being lumpy, but it's okay if it is because I covered it with more powdered sugar, as you will see at the end of this video. So pour the glaze onto the cake and spread it out evenly if you can, using a spoon or just moving the bowl around. And oh my goodness, you guys, this cake is so delicious. My husband and I actually ate it in 2 days. We pretty much ate half of the cake the first day and the other half the cake the following day. Thank you so much for watching Simply Bakers. I will see you on my next upload. Bye guys! If you've been watching or following my blog, you've noticed that I've been sharing a lot of plant-based Filipino recipes. And on occasion, I do share some dessert recipes, and you're in luck. I'm sharing a really easy 5-ingredient with an optional ingredient if you want to add a cheesecake recipe called Biscoff Cheesecake Bars. It is so delicious, and if you love Biscoff, this is a recipe to make. And like I said, it's only 5 ingredients. So you probably have most of the ingredients in your pantry. If not, you can actually substitute the Biscoff with graham crackers if you really want to make this recipe, but I suggest to make sure you grab some Biscoff cookies. So thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you enjoy this, and let me know in the comments if you want to see more dessert recipes. Bye! Hi guys, today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make mini chocolate cupcakes, and this recipe was shared to me by my friend Amber from Sweet Am Cookies. She does an amazing job at decorating cookies, as you can see from these pictures. If you head over to her channel and subscribe to her, she will teach you all these awesome tips on how to make these cookies look as good as hers. Let's begin! You're going to need 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 1/4 cups of unsweetened cocoa powder, 2 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 1/2 cups of sugar. Then go ahead and sift everything into the bowl. Then make a well in the middle. Then you're going to add 2 large whole eggs plus 1 yolk, 1 1/4 cups of milk, half a cup of vegetable oil, 1 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1 1/4 cup of warm water. Then you're going to mix everything very well. The bowl was too small, so I had to transfer it to a larger bowl. And look how thick this batter is. It was actually really good. I tried it. So grab your mini muffin pans, put the paper cups in there, and then add the batter, and then you're going to bake it for about 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. So if you'd like to add frosting to these cupcakes, you're going to fill these liners only about halfway to allow the frosting to sit on top nicely on these mini cupcakes. You're going to need some cardstock paper with some fancy designs, scissor, stapler, and some Ziploc bags, or if you have some cellophane bags, you can use that. So the next part is really simple. All you need to do is line the paper with the plastic. You can mark it if it makes it easier for you. Then go ahead and cut it to the size that you want. Fold it in half. Place about 3 or 4 cupcakes in the bag. Now if you add frosting, this won't work. So this is also great for muffins. Just like that, then you're going to place the paper on top, grab your stapler, and staple it. And here's the final product. It's really simple, guys. I love doing this and giving this to my family and friends just because. And guys, don't forget to head over to Amber's channel so she can teach you how to make frosting that goes excellent with these mini cupcakes. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys. Baking is definitely my true love compared to cooking. I started Simply Baking with sharing so many baking recipes or so many dessert recipes. I have kind of moved on to more Asian, vegetarian, Filipino style foods, but when I do have a chance to share a baking recipe, it is something that you have to check out, like this one. I have not shared any tiramisu recipe on my blog, so I thought to share a simple yet delicious and easy recipe on how to make tiramisu. Now, if you really want to make this from scratch, I do have a recipe for tartlets or a pie recipe that you could use. If not, go ahead and just buy frozen ones like we did here. Thanks again for stopping by. If there's a recipe you want us to make, let us know in the comments. Bye, guys! Today we will be making red velvet cookies drizzled with white chocolate. Let's begin! In a large bowl, add 3/4 cups of brown sugar, half a cup of softened butter. If you don't have a handheld mixer or stand mixer, feel free to use a fork like what I did, and you're going to mix it until it's light and fluffy. Then add 1 egg, 1 1/2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and continue mixing it until it's well combined. And once that's finished, you're going to add red food coloring, and I use about 1 teaspoon of the gel version. You can use liquid. I believe that should be fine as well. And just add it to the mixture, and feel free to add more if you want it darker or less if you want it lighter. And then just mix it until it's well combined. And the batter should look like this. It looks really wet, but it's fine because we're going to be adding the dry ingredients. All-purpose flour, salt, baking soda, and cocoa powder. Add it to the sifter, and you're going to sift it into the bowl. Once you're finished sifting it, you're going to add it to the wet ingredients, and you're just going to take your spatula and mix it. It looks really wet, I know, but that's how the batter of the red velvet cookies is supposed to be. Once you're finished adding the wet and dry ingredients together, you're going to feel like you want to add more flour, but don't, because this is how the batter is supposed to be like. Then you're going to get the cookie dough and place it onto the baking mat, and then you're going to bake it for 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 12 to 14 minutes. Let it sit for a couple of minutes on the pan and then transfer it to the cookie rack. So the chocolates I used was the Ghirardelli version, and I just followed the directions on the back and melted it. I like this version of white chocolate because the consistency is really nice. Then I drizzled it onto the cookies, and make sure the cookies are completely cooled or the white chocolate will melt off. And once you're done drizzling the white chocolate, add some heart sprinkles to give it more of a festive look for Valentine's Day. Thanks for requesting to make red velvet cookies. Let me know in the comment section what you want me to make for the next Cookie Monday. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye, guys. Today I'm going to teach you how to make vanilla cupcakes. Let's begin. The ingredients you will need is milk, butter, eggs, salt, baking powder, vanilla extract, sugar, and all-purpose flour. So first you're going to add your butter, then you're going to grab your sugar and add it to the bowl. Then if you have a handheld mixer, go ahead and use that to make it light and fluffy. If not, you can use a whisk, like what I did. Then you're going to add your eggs one at a time. So you're going to add the first egg and then you're going to mix. Then you're going to add your second egg and you're going to mix again. So after everything is mixed, go ahead and add your vanilla extract and mix. So after you're done mixing, you're going to grab your all-purpose flour and you're going to add the salt and baking powder. Then you're going to mix. And once you're done mixing, you're going to add the flour mixture into the butter mixture. Then you're going to mix everything together. How I did it was I added a little bit of flour, then I mixed. And I did this about 2 times. Then I added the milk a little bit at a time, and then I mixed until I got the consistency I wanted, which you will see in a couple of seconds. And this is the consistency you're looking for. So I lined my muffin pan with these cupcake liners. Aren't they cute? I got them at Target. If you haven't already, go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to bake the cupcakes for 20 to 25 minutes. So I know a lot of us don't have mini muffin pans. So what you're going to do is you're going to place your mini muffin liners or cupcake liners into the pan, like this. And then you're going to add the batter to the muffin liners. Now notice that some of them have spread out. You're going to want to double it so that won't happen. So this part, I'm going to teach you how to make the cupcake bouquet. You can purchase the buckets at Target for $1. The styrofoam ball you can purchase at Michael's or your any craft store. Then you're going to hot glue gun the tip of the buckets and then you're going to place the ball onto it. So I made this pink buttercream and I realized that I had misplaced my star tip. So I went out to the store to purchase another tip and I found this buttercream can that you guys can get at the store for less than $3. Isn't it pretty? And you can ice the cupcake however you want. I just twirled it around. And once you're finished, you're going to grab 2 toothpicks. And I used 2 because I felt that it was more secure that way when I placed the cupcakes onto it. And then you can decorate it however you want. I just put everything next to each other and then filled the holes with little mini cupcakes. Now, it could get a little messy, so you want to keep a towel handy or some napkins to wipe away the buttercream that you touch with your hands. So I still had a lot of empty holes, and so I filled it in with these chocolate candies that I got from Target also. And just put a toothpick in it and then just place it anywhere you want. I think it just makes it more prettier, and you can purchase these chocolates at Target for less than $3. Thanks for staying till the end. I really hope you guys enjoy these types of videos, and if you do, let me know in the comments by writing more videos like these. Thanks for watching. Bye guys!